All right, everybody. So today's video, I want to talk to you about the Kettlebell Notebook. All right. Now, this is a book we wrote a bunch of years ago with a buddy of mine, Angel. Angel's a phenomenal trainer out of Millburn, New Jersey. We've been grinding and fucking improving lives through exercise and plotting world domination for about 10 years together now. And we wanted to come up with a book because when I first came home from Iraq in 2007, you know, I got introduced to kettlebells by a very, very good friend of mine, Kevin Robinson. Kevin, what's up, bud? Still suck. And what happened was Kevin introduced us to kettlebells, and it was such a phenomenal training tool that it blew my mind away. And I said, now that I'm getting back into personal training again, because I just got back from the Marines, I wanted to learn everything I could about this phenomenal training tool. And we went out and I bought all the books and I bought all the DVDs and I did all the stuff and I did all the things. And what I realized is after spending close to like a couple $1,000s on courses and books, everybody was teaching the same bullshit. What do I mean by that? It was the same 12 exercises over and over and over and over again, and nobody ever gave you anything new. They would talk to you about like the philosophy of kettlebells and the history of kettlebells and how they came up with the design for kettlebells and how kettlebells can be applied to all these other parts of life that nobody really gave a shit about. The author's personal story, why they were the most qualified person in the world to talk about. None of the shit I actually gave a fuck about, right? Nobody cared about. So I decided that I wanted to be the person to put together something for my clients that I could say, here, if you want to learn how to work with kettlebells, take this. It's supposed to be like 15 to 22 pages, right? And you can tell, I don't know if they have it listed up here. I think this thing ended up being like 200, like you see right here, 237 pages long, which is what it ended up at being, because all I did is I start coming up with different variations of exercises, workout combinations, techniques. You can see we get through about five pages of bullshit, and then after that, we basically talked to you about a bunch of pages where, let's scroll through, Angel, me, break, blah, 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 determining a difficulty level. So we have this whole big section right here that talks about exactly how to determine what weight kettlebell is right for you. Beginner, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, or advanced. But I wanted people to know what that meant, because not every exercise that you're gonna see in this book is an appropriate exercise to start with, and not every exercise is gonna feel challenging enough for somebody who might be an advanced individual. So like right here, if you read the beginner, this is somebody who's brand new to kettlebell training. They've learned a few fundamental exercises. Their technique's acceptable but still needs improvement before progressing to heavier loads. They struggle with stability and control of the kettlebell during most movements. They fatigue quickly due to poor postural alignment and poor muscular endurance of the posterior chain. God damn, I sound smart, right? Where if you go to the advanced category, what makes somebody advanced? Somebody who's advanced is proficient in the most advanced exercises, always maintains proper balance control of the kettlebell even during periods of fatigue and exhaustion. Postural alignment is always perfect, and muscular endurance of the posterior chain is able to withstand almost anything you can throw out of it. That would be the difference between somebody who's a beginner and advanced, and then the two levels that would be considered in between, right? And we wanted to do this with people to kind of show them, listen, here's how you progress through the exercises. Here's how you know whether or not you're able to move from the beginner exercises to the intermediate exercises, or from the intermediate exercises to the advanced exercises. One of the biggest reasons why people get hurt with working out, not just with kettlebells, in general, is because they're progressing too fast and they don't know when to stop, all right? What you want to do is choose an appropriate starting weight. I wanted to show people something that can help them determine, hey, what weight do I start with? One of the biggest, questions I get asked of people is like, Jay, what weight kettlebell do I need? Because I always tell people, all you need is, 2 kettlebells, a towel, and your fucking A game, and you can complete a total body workout anywhere, anytime, and really feel like you exhausted yourself, right? But people are still left saying like, well, what does that actually mean, So I had these charts, what you have to live and die by, but it gives you a guideline to start. So appropriate starting weights for men and women. For somebody, if you're a guy, right, or if you identify as being a guy, don't even get me fucking started on that. A lightweight would be somewhere around 17.6 pounds. Kettlebells come in kilograms most of the times, right? 17.6 pounds would be considered light, 26 pounds would be considered medium, and about 35 pounds would be considered heavy for most people starting with these books. Now, if you're an avid kettlebell user, you've been doing this shit for like fucking a bunch of years, like I can tell you right now, like Susie's recording right now, that's not fucking heavy for Susie. Susie's getting like 50, 60, 70 pounds. Like that is not heavy for her. That might be heavy for an overhead lift for her. Determines where you're at in your fitness routine. where for the average female starting off on their kettlebell journey, light would be considered 8 pounds, medium would be considered maybe 17.6 pounds, and heavy would be considered 26.4 pounds. Those are some good starting guidelines. Obviously, as you get better, you're gonna progress out of those and get a better understanding of, you know, what you really can handle safely and what weights work best for what exercises, right? And we have all this other extra bullshit we put in there. I took creative writing in high school, so I'm pretty good at it, right? Repetition ranges, because people always say, well, Jay, now that I know where I fall in the experience category, and now that I know what weight I should be starting with, how many reps do I do? So, what are my repetition ranges? Well, you know, typically I always tell people, it really depends on what you're training for. What we call your desired training effect. Based on where you're at in your routine and what your goal is, determines really what your appropriate rep ranges would be, right? So let's say we're gonna have somebody who has a cardio goal, a strength training goal, and a power-based goal, right? So somebody who has a cardio-based goal, they're doing if they're doing for their repetitions, if you're doing an exercise for reps, right? Hey, we're gonna do kettlebell clean and presses up to the sky and back down for X amount of times. You know, somebody who's in the beginner category might do 8 to 12 repetitions on that, right? And if you're super advanced, you'd be doing like 24 plus reps, right? That's if you're doing cardio-based. Now, if we go all the way over to the power-based side, right? Somebody who's advanced is doing 7 reps, right? They're not doing 24 reps, because over on the cardio side, you're doing a lighter weight, you're going for cardio, right? Where if you're going for the strength and the power-based reps, you're not gonna be doing as many reps because you're using a heavier bell. Once again, it's determined by what your desired training effect is, right? Now, let's say we go back, let's say you're doing reps for time. Hey, we're gonna do as many clean and presses as you can do during a 20-second period. You know, somebody who's in the beginning stage of their you know, programming, they might be doing 20 seconds, or somebody who's advanced might be doing 40 seconds of work, and they're taking their rest as needed, if at all. Like when, you know, when we take our classes, Susie takes a lot of these also with us. You go from one exercise right to the next, and it really doesn't bother you one way or the other, right? Where with our power-based stuff, you know, you're going until you're tired, as many reps as you can get in a 10-minute period or whatever you're going for. It's always recommended that before beginning this or any fitness regime that you always consult with your physician or a trusted medical professional at first. Due to prior injuries, physical limitations, and or medical conditions, certain exercises and training protocols may not be appropriate for you and may need to be modified. That's just to fucking keep the lawyers happy, right? And then from there we go into the exercises, kettlebell planks. Actually, you know what? This is a good one. Nobody really does this one. Actually, we haven't done this one in fucking ages, right? So what I do with all the exercises, I think there's like 135 different exercises in here, right? They all have different picture tutorials where I went through, I took every fucking photo in this book. It took forever, right? So you got the picture, a couple different variations where you go half plank 2, full plank 1, full plank 2. We got the description of how to execute the exercise, right? We got the actual step-by-step written out execution of the exercise. We have the little guy right here, right? Blue man chart, where we show you exactly what exercises are being targeted, both the primary and the secondary muscles, as well as the top applications of like when this might be a good exercise. You know, if you're looking to tone the abs, improve core stability, or any sport requiring a high level of core stability, as well as some of the modifications and variations where you could do a half plank bottoms down, half plank bottoms up by the handle, full plank bell side down. These are different exercises that are also listed in the book at different points. Full plank balance down the handle, where would I go when I find that? You would go to the back of the book, you would look in alphabetical order for that full plank balance on the handle. It'll tell you the page number. You can't see the page number because there's little buttons in the way. You see the page number and you would go in and just look it up and see what goes from there. So it's, like I said, there's 237 pages of just like fun-filled fitness excitement in here. So if you guys are interested in getting a copy of this book, do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section below and either myself or somebody from the team will send you the link to download your own copy. I do recommend downloading it. It's on a Google Drive folder, but to keep uploading the file back and forth, it's a lot. It's a lot of pictures in there. That is really all we have for the Kettlebell Notebook. That's part one. We're gonna do a couple more videos where we go over more of the exercises specifically, some of the different combinations, some of the different workouts we have. And we have a second part to this book, which is the actual workout series. The Kettlebell Notebook 1 is really the how to do each exercise style of the book, where the second part was we put together 3 different 6-week training programs that you can follow along, where part 1 we teach you how to do the exercises, part 2 we teach you how to make it into an all-in-one standalone routine that you can do, whether it's at the gym, at your house, in the park, wherever you want, regardless of your level of experience. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. Haven't gotten a copy of this yet and you want to get your own copy, leave a comment in the comment section below, and either myself, somebody from the team will reach out and hook you up. Hey, stop by, see you in the next one.